What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Jacob Whitman. Today, I'm joined by...
Brian Krauss.
Calvin Whittington.
Michael Yockey.
And today, we're going to be talking about the topic of video games.
Oh,
Specifically, modern-day video games. So, to start off, would anyone like to talk about their experience with games?
Video games saved my life.
Did they?
I guess you could say so. I mean... It's
So,
kind of a joke, kind of not.
So did you have any experience growing up that, from video games that helped you, I don't know?
I mean, actually, the first thing that I can remember, and this is way, way out of my age group, but I had a Sega Genesis, which was my dad's. The first game I actually played was Sonic, the first one, and that's the first memory I have, possibly. And then... the funny thing, the first day I played it, first day it broke. A lot of first things I can think of. But then afterwards, we got a PS2, and it introduced me to all these sorts of games, which were part of the 21st century. In fact, I think this was basically, because the PS1 was in the 90s, correct? So this was kind of like the beginning step. The sixth generation was kind of like that step for the 21st century of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's the modern point right there.
What about you, Mike?
I remember playing video games back since I was 4, and all I remember even back from my very first memories, I would always just go to my room and just play the GameCube or at my dad's house play the Nintendo 64 or something like that. Video games have been a big part of my life. Pretty much all my life I've been playing them. I still play them right now today, obviously.
What about you, Brian?
I would say around when I was 7 or 8, my dad introduced me to video games, but it was on the PC, so I wasn't a console player.
PC Master Race.
We'll get to that later, Calvin. Yeah, I played WoW, which is still a blooming game, I guess. It's not as big as it used to be, but
new expansion coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. But
I hope so.
I still play today. I've always played ever since. I played as much as I could, and I don't know. I play as much as I can now.
So I guess for me, my first memory was Christmas. I got a DS, and the first game that I actually played, or that I can remember playing, was Mario 64 on the DS.
Ooh. Really?
So yeah,
Oh.
I feel like I've played games before, but nothing I can remember that I specifically know that that was the first game I ever played. But yeah, so. How old were you guys when you first started playing?
Dude, I was 5.
5?
Yeah, I was 5 when I had that Genesis, and then it broke.
I want to say around 3 or 4. I've been playing video games as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Brian?
7 or 8.
7 or 8? Yeah. So, when did you guys start to notice? Was there any I don't know, violence in video games? Any games coming out like Call of Duty that that you didn't want to play or you wanted to play but you couldn't?
Yeah, I mean, I remembered. I think this was during the time when I had got an Xbox. Actually, no, this was even during the PS2 era. I wasn't even allowed to play teen games because my parents were strictly on the E or E10 rating. And they would only let me go up to something like E10 if possible. That's very rare that they even did that. So I was usually stuck with E games, which for the PS2, that wasn't a lot of selections to choose from because the more popular games were M-rated, more mature games or for teens. I know now that when I look at my PS2 collection, a lot of these games I didn't grow up with because they were rated this, but yet they're considered the best in its genre,
right?
Or not its genre, but in its system.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my first M-rated game was Assassin's Creed, and that was during the time when I got my 360, which got stolen.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
I can never keep a console. I just can't.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, I remember the first, I guess, violent video game I played was Call of Duty, and it was World at War for the Wii.
What a console.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know.
We wasn't that bad.
And I remember, like, my dad, he had got it because he wanted to play it. But I was like, hey, I want to try it out. But my parents didn't want me to. And so one day I had a friend over, and we were trying it. And then, it just went from there. Like, you could see the violence, and you're like, oh, that's different from the games I play, But it was pretty fun. And I guess, I don't know. I just didn't see how, it could make a person, violent or angry. Like, I'm not an angry person or like a violent person. But yeah, I don't know.
We'll get into more of that later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have a few things to say about that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So with me and Raid M games, it's kind of weird because, like, when I was younger, and I remember seeing my cousin playing, who was younger than me, by the way, he was playing a Raid M game, and it actually scared the crap out of me. So, like, I'd never played a single Raid M game except for, like, a couple times. Like, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 I played a lot at my cousin's house when I got a little older, but I don't know, like, I was scared of them for, like, up until, like, around 6th grade when I finally bought my very first one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, well, I guess when I first got into it, WoW it wasn't, like, too violent, but it did have, like, like fighting, I guess, aspects of killing, and not people, but things. And so, I don't know, I was exposed to it. I believe my dad and my brother, they always played, like, GTA and things like that on the PS2 and whatnot, and so it was around in my house. I just never was able to play it, not because they didn't want me to. It's part of it, but because they were always playing, so I never had the chance to. And eventually, they kind of grew away from it, or would be doing other things, and I would be playing. And I just thought it's a game. Didn't play a role on how I felt or changed my mood or anything like that. Right.
So, what do you guys think is the appropriate age for kids to start playing M-rated games?
They are mature enough for it, and honestly, it's up to their parents. They can't purchase it until they're like, that specific age. If their parents feel like they're mature enough for it, they go ahead and play it. True. I mean, just don't yell at me if I mess up in Call of Duty or something, even though I don't play Call of Duty.
So what would you feel like a specific age where, you feel like someone could handle it, or, it wouldn't be too violent for them?
Wouldn't be too violent?
Yeah,
so
like a specific age, like, 6.
Well, if you're like I guess it also just depends on the game, honestly, because some games, I remembered Super Smash Bros. Was for teens. When you look back at it, there wasn't really anything, like, big about it that was, like, teen about it. In fact, I thought that game should have been rated E10, to be quite honest. I don't know why it was rated teen. I think maybe because it had, like, I don't even know, actually. I can't think
it's
of
probably
what.
Just, like, the violence of fighting.
I can't, well, yeah, but even then, like, today, like, those kind of games like Smash are, like, E10 now and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, I guess you just need to, again, like I said before, I think if the parent feels that the kid is responsible enough to play those games, but also I think they also need to take into consider the research about the game. Like, we have access to, like, internet and YouTube and all this sort of stuff. There's no excuse now to not, like, either look at a review or look at some sort of article to talk about the game to see what's in there, look at gameplay for it, and then see if this is all right for their kid nowadays.
Yeah. So what about you guys? Do you think there's a specific age or just when they're mature enough?
I think it would really depend on the person. Like, there's like some people I even know that are, like, in my grade that, like, they don't care, they don't really care for Raid M games. Like, they don't play a lot of them. Like a lot of the super, like, violent ones, like Killing Floor or Call of Duty or any of them. Mm-hmm. But if I had to choose an age, I think for rated T games, I think it depends on the parents, because there's a lot of rated T games that aren't that bad by today's standards anyway. But for rated M, I'd say probably around midway through middle school, I'd say they'd be old enough, because they're going to get exposed to that type of things anyway.
Right. Yeah.
That is true. I did forget about, like, friends and everything like that. They're going to get exposed to that. But still, I still agree that it's up to the parent.
And of course, if your friend's playing the game, they're like, "Hey, you should check this out." And
Well, here's the thing, and can I go off topic for a little, sort of off topic, but
As long as it connects,
ahead.
I'd say.
yeah. Well, I had a friend who used to play M-rated games around me, but at the time I still couldn't play these sort of games, so I would watch him play. Now, his parents also knew that I was not allowed to play these sort of games, so they could have contact with them to say, "Oh, well, you can't play this sort of game around them." Even though that's not the case for me. I watched it, I just couldn't play it, which I don't understand too much of the difference. Like, honestly, like, it's like people are not allowed, like, kids are not allowed to watch violent movies.
Right.
So why am I allowed to watch,
Yeah.
like, Kratos rip an eyeball out of a Cyclops or
Right.
something like that? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, it's weird. But I say, like, if they have good connections and stuff like that, just say, hey, don't play these games around when he's around and stuff. And yeah.
I mean, it's really easy for like kids nowadays to get like to find all those like mature games with like
Right.
YouTube Let's
True.
plays and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I
like
feel like it just becomes like a part of life. Like you're introduced to like you see more movies and they start to get more and more violent, or just video games. So
yeah.
I feel like just like your midpoint through middle school would probably be my choice for like an age.
PG-13 movies nowadays have the F word in it.
Right? Yeah.
Which,
Wait, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
yeah, we saw Tomb Raider in that.
Yeah.
And some guy was like, oh, yeah.
I feel like they're starting to allow
Whoa.
more and more into like movies and stuff.
Yeah, it's today we're a little bit more linear on like just having all that, stuff.
Right.
Stuff. I don't know. Just violence and everything and stuff. Yeah.
So I kind of want to talk about the idea of the perfect game. Like, is there a perfect game that everyone can play and enjoy?
No, but if there was anything that I would say, I'd probably have to go with Mario because, I mean, look how long he's last for. And,
Right.
like almost everybody, like, at some point has played a Mario game.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like you said, you grew up with Mario.
Uh-huh.
And, at one point, like, just he's called the mascot of video games for a reason. Like, that's literally what he's known for. So, I mean, like, I guess some sort of Mario game.
Right.
But otherwise, even then, that's stretching it a bit because
Right.
not everybody's into platformers. So I don't think there's a perfect game. There will probably never be one, and if there is, I'll be dead before that happens. So
I'm actually happy that there would probably never be a perfect game because that means
Yeah.
video games can still
Mhm.
improve. On each
Improve,
other.
yeah.
And I feel like it has to do a lot with the person, like, if they like a certain type of thing. Like, I know, Kelvin, you said a Mario game, but not everyone is going to like the aspect or the idea of Mario.
No.
Yeah.
So,
I know some people who don't care for Mario, which is it's crazy. You don't care for it?
I don't really care for Mario.
Well, you haven't really played that much of it though.
I played
too.
Paper Mario.
That's something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
so yeah, what do you think? Is there a perfect game?
I would say probably not like for everyone, but in a single person's eyes, maybe. I mean, if you enjoy a game enough and it's just like the right amount of everything, sure, it can be considered your perfect game. I mean, if you put hours upon hours into something, then you clearly like it. But there's always bound to be like small things that are messed up or not done correctly within the game. But it's all beauties in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah,
it's a good one.
yeah that was a good one right there.
So with that being said, what are some of your favorite video games?
I like action adventure games and action RPGs.
But what one's your favorite?
Yeah.
Which
anything
one's my
specific?
favorite? Some sort of Zelda game. It's funny too because even though I usually say Breath of the Wild, which is just so freaking good, I also have a lot of experience with Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past, which is one of my favorite games as well. Majora's Mask. I could name a whole bunch of Zelda games. Wind Waker, that's a good one. But it's always hard to say what my favorite game is. If I would have to say right now, Breath of the Wild, because it came at the perfect time for me. Then I sold my PS4 for it. So
Big decision right
yeah.
there.
It was worth it though, because I had such high hopes for this game, and it was at a time when like I was just like, you know, kind of down in the dumps, not feeling it. It's one of those things where I wouldn't say it saved my life or anything, but it did help me through some tough times, and it also made me, you know, 100% completing the game, you know. God, that felt accomplishing, but don't ever collect the Korok seeds. Just whoever's listening to you, that was the worst decision I've ever made. So dumb.
I still want to collect them, to be honest.
No, all you get is golden poo.
I know. I want that golden
Spoilers.
Not a
Yeah.
spoiler. If you think I'm lying about it, look it up on YouTube.
poo. I want that golden poo, man.
It's not
So-
worth it.
So what about you, Mike? Is there any perfect game out there?
Oh no, I don't think there's any perfect game. Like
I mean,
Like-
your favorite game, not perfect.
my favorite game, like for the longest time, ever since I first played it back in like 2013, 14, was Skyrim.
Oh.
Good game.
Go King.
I've played so many hours of Skyrim. I love it to death.
Yeah.
And but once I played Breath of the Wild, I think that's my new favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the vast open world and like all the exploring the world for the
Right.
Korok seeds. I want that golden poo. And
No, you don't. No, you don't.
yeah, but even my favorite game, Breath of the Wild, like there's stuff about it that I don't like. For example, the weapon durability on
Right.
it. It's just way too fast. Because like you get a cool sword and it's like, well, this is gonna last me like 2 minutes.
Yeah. So then it goes back to that idea, like there's no perfect game. Like it's your favorite, but you know it still has things to
Flaws
work
that
on,
you
right?
don't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about you, Brian? Is there any? What's your favorite game?
I don't know. I play many genres. I play a lot. I would say I play the most of like MMOs and like probably like things like WoW. I mean, I've been playing Warframe a lot lately.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know. I've always been around so many genres. I don't think there's a whole lot that I avoid. Even like I don't know. I know I said I don't really care for Mario, but I guess I still played similar like games. I guess I
Yeah,
can't think
like-
of any.
Yeah.
Can't think of any examples though.
Maybe you might have played a platformer here
Yeah,
and there.
I've played platformers.
Yeah,
but
so I mean,
I don't know.
So far, like your favorite games are kind of like newly made or like
Yeah, I like new stuff.
yeah,
I'm a
well,
AAA title kind of guy.
yeah.
I'm not too much of a AAA type of guy. I'll get into that when I do, unless we're getting into it right now.
Right. Well, I guess like now let's just talk about like I don't know. Like I don't know.
Just think about it.
Just think of let's just go into like how they've evolved. Like you started to go like since your favorite games are like of modern day, how have they like evolved? Because Kelvin, I know you've played like a lot of like the retro games,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you guys have as well. But how has it like evolved and like how can they I don't know adapt?
Well, there's no question about it that they have evolved. Graphics a big one. That's all everybody
yeah.
brings up. Graphics. Story has been a big thing. Back in the day, you know, Mario story. What?
Yeah.
All you do is just save a. We always go back to Mario. Or just save like a freaking princess or whatever. Like there's no like big grand story. And nowadays we have like The Last of Us, which has like, you know, these real big like, you know, stories and everything in there. And so, you know, it's evolved over time and like, but one thing that I think that there's like a decrease in quality when it comes to video games is the lack of creativity. There's a formula. A lot like Call of Duty, for example. Even though they tried switching it up with like Advanced Warfare and stuff like that in looks, it still feels the same and plays the same. Now, that's not a
Still.
bad thing. Mario, if I can go back to him again, has been doing the same crap for a long time, but each game they always bring something new to the table that like makes a little bit of a difference between each game. So it's nothing that they have to do that's really big, just something that has to keep making it fresh. Breath of the Wild, the reason why I like it so much is actually not how it improved the Zelda series, but how they went back. Because for the blueprints to the Breath of the Wild, they actually used Zelda 1's engine, I believe.
Yeah, they use
They use that to create Breath of the Wild, and it feels like that. It's like this, because Zelda 1 was all about exploring this big world with like no sort of like, like, oh, here's a marker to go there, and I know it still has that, and it's an option in the game, but you don't have to. It wants you to explore the whole world, and just go at it.
I mean, most of the quest markers in the game just show like the quest giver, not like the objective.
Right.
Like, oh, find me this many items, and like it doesn't tell you like where the items are. It's just like who gave you like the quest.
I think, but what the point I'm trying to get across right now is I think modern games are better because they do have those improvements like graphics or story or whatever, and even sometimes story's not a big deal as long as it's just fun. And I think if they like break out of the boundaries of that like formula, like with the stupid like having microtransactions and stuff, and having like making it easy for everybody, and just having almost everybody win at something, I think it should be just more about how to make a really fun game and make it really creative and like stand out. And it doesn't even have to be something really that new. Think of indie games, for example. Shovel Knight. It's done nothing new. Why is it so popular? Because it's a really good game. It went back to what made NES, what made that popular, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a mix-up, honestly. I like both. I think as long, like, I don't know what to say for this one, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's evolved and devolved at the same time. I think certain ones. I think it's like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, ones that have this similar formula and that come out like every so years and stuff. I think those ones are the kind of games that I don't like in terms of modern gaming. But the ones that come out rarely and like really show something like new and different, and just like, or just show something that's like, that takes you back to another game. Like I said with Shovel Knight again and stuff. Like those are the kind of games I'm looking for. I'm looking for those experiences, not a similar formula that I've played about a year ago or even a month ago or something like that.
I mean, I was reading this the other day. The next Call of Duty was thinking about introducing Battle Royale. So it kind of goes to, they're constantly changing, but I feel like they're trying to appeal to the new like generation, like interests and stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that because you got to keep up with the times too. Right. I mean, that's something that's always going to happen no matter what. I mean, even Breath of the Wild, they took notes from Skyrim and stuff. Why did they take notes from Skyrim? Because it's popular.
Right.
I mean, some people have even heard that it was a Skyrim mod, which they can shut up. It's not. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. Honestly, yeah. I don't judge a game until it comes out, even if it is, like I said before, if it's like Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed. You gotta wait. Maybe they will make that big leap, like that goal that I want for my kinds of games.
I think Call of Duty is just trying to ride on the Fortnite train with their battle royale mode. And there's even a rumor that they're completely replacing the campaign with the battle royale mode.
I think I read that too.
Okay. I'll admit, sorry, I talked too much. I'll just keep it quick. They should not get rid of their campaign, even though I don't care for it. They should at least add it in there for people who don't have online capabilities, or B, still want that extra content in there because it's a feature that's been there for a long time, and some people don't want that to be like gone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, most of the time when I play Call of Duty nowadays, it's just for the campaign and the zombies mode. Like I can play the zombies mode for hours with my friends and stuff. But I love that some of the campaigns. Like I thought the new World War II one was good. I thought even the Infinite Warfare one was good.
Yeah.
And I love the Black Ops campaigns except for 3. That can get out of here. Yeah. I just hope that isn't true, that they get rid of the campaign for Battle Royale.
Yeah, it would just be weird,
Yeah.
Like they're totally like changing Call of Duty if they just, get rid of the campaign and just add in Battle Royale.
Actually, the Chinese Call of Duty that's over in China, they already have a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, did they
over
make
there.
like some online something where it was like a Battle Royale and that's what they're
Like everyone starts out with like a Uzi or a Scorpion,
Right.
and like they just run around the map, kind of like the old school free for all from COD 4,
Mhm.
and just pick up weapons that way and perks and stuff.
Thinking about it, though, I kind of see it as actually a good marketing strategy, because think about it this way. It's not your typical zombies or anything like that. It's a new mode. If they keep the campaign and multiplayer in there, they still have that, but it's a new mode for people. Like I said before, they're adding these little differences. And see, I think that would change some gameplay, and if they can work it out well, I think that would be a really neat and awesome feature for everybody. And it could rival PUBG or Fortnite, possibly.
They also have the advantage of it, like probably lasting like probably not even 10 minutes, because
Right.
like just if you want to play a Battle Royale game but you don't have time for Fortnite or PUBG, you
Yeah.
can just hop on Call of Duty and
Mhm.
there you go.
What about you, Brian? Is there anything you
For the
wanted to say?
evolution of games?
Yeah,
Or
or just anything in general.
Yeah, I would say I guess I'm pretty biased though against or not against. I'm for the new. I'm for the modern. I like my
Yeah.
new games. Old games, I don't know. I don't quite care for them, I guess. I mean, they can be good. I don't mean to
Yeah.
shut them down, but I would say they've evolved. They've
Yeah.
really gotten different. That's great.
They've
Not
definitely
reviews.
improved
Yes.
a lot.
I mean, like you play old games like Ocarina of Time, or like any old game, like
Right.
when I play some games on my PS2, and I don't know how to. I used to be able to play them sometimes because of the controls.
Right.
Like there's
Yeah.
also garbage, but but like
Yeah.
and you also look at like Ocarina of Time and like those old Zelda games.
Zelda.
And that like they like they're so slow, like Ocarina of Time specifically, like it's really slow, it's kind of clunky at times, and I don't know, there's just a bunch of problems with it nowadays, but back then it was a masterpiece.
Right. Yeah, I remember like some of the games I used to play and loved. I can't really, I can't play them for too long. It's just now that we've been introduced to like new things and it's all, I don't want to say high tech, but it just seems, I don't know, unappealing to me. But
Fair
it
enough.
also just depends on the game.
It's also like I could see like how a lot of people like with their phones and everything, like, and if you're wondering where I'm getting at with this, well, I have to buy a new phone every day and stuff like that, and they just don't stick with the other one. Like you have to keep up with the times,
Yeah.
and it's a thing. But I like to go back to old games
Right.
that I grew up with. If it's good. There are
Mhm.
some games I played that were absolutely terrible. Again, PS2 was not really meant to be a kid's console, so there was a lot
Yeah.
of crap I played on there.
When I play old games, it's just like when I heard a lot of people like give it praise, or like I have friends that want me to play it, or like just when I am bored, or like when I just got into a new series, for example, Fire Emblem. Like I just got into that series, and I've been wanting to play like all their older games and stuff,
Right.
and because I want to experience the older games. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about your favorite games. What are some of the games you cannot stand for the life of you? Calvin, I know you have a strong opinion on this
you want
one,
me to
so
go
why don't
first,
you
Calvin?
go?
You can go
Oh,
first.
alright.
Because I have to think about it.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say that I don't have like a dislike towards a whole lot of games or anything. I'm just not the one to go back and play the same games I've played before. So if I've like played through and beat Darksiders or Darksiders 2 or whatever,
Right.
I don't want to go back, redo these puzzles or
Right.
You already
redo
did it
these bosses.
once.
Yeah, and like
That's fair enough.
I don't even mind if I didn't complete it on like the hardest difficulty. If
Yeah.
I beat it on easy or medium, I don't really
That's
mind.
another thing. You also want new experiences
Yeah.
too. That's a big thing.
I don't know. I just don't think I'd have any disliked games.
Yeah.
Disliked games. Well, this is not a popular opinion. And if anybody who's a huge fan of this is gonna give me crap for this, I'm not a huge fan of PUBG.
Yeah.
or battle royale games. I don't think they're bad. I see why they're popular. I understand why the concept is so, why people are so like really into this. But it doesn't offer much for me. There's not a lot for me to do other than maybe play a few quick games with my friends, have a good time, and then afterwards just go play something else that has a lot more to do.
Right.
Or another thing is I just don't think the gameplay is really suitable for me. I don't really care for the aiming in that game, and I also think that there's a lot of you loot, and then either a hacker or just somebody that's better than you easily shoots you down. And of course, you got to be like, get good. Yeah. But, I mean, it's hard because also another thing is I survive longer when I just try to avoid everyone until the very end when I have to finally do that. And again, you could probably practice, like, trying to go into a game and kill these people. But it's just that I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like.
Right.
I don't like the genre, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the same with the real-time strategy games. I don't care for those. Not that they're bad. I don't care for them. But I understand why people like them. It's one of those sort of deals. If there's a modern game that I think is just absolute garbage, stupid movie license games can be one. Except some of those, not all of them are bad, but most of them are pretty junky. I remember Godzilla on the PS4. That was
the thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a Power Rangers game that came out, which is more of a TV show, not a movie. But still, it was a beat 'em up. I forgot what it was for, but it was.
Right.
And there was also a Ghostbusters game that didn't even feature any of the characters from the actual movie. Yeah.
You had to pay like I forgot for costumes. What was it? $10 for the original costumes.
Oh yeah.
Or something. I don't know. Maybe more, maybe less.
Not even the original characters, just the original costumes.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was dumb.
So before we go on to our next topic, is there anyone else have any other opinion?
I mean, I can kind of agree with Kelvin on the Battle Royale. Like, I don't play it too much, but I do enjoy it. But I can't play it for, like, more than an hour and not get bored. And also RTS games I'm not that good at, so I don't really care for. And same with MOBAs.
Yeah.
Like, MOBAs, I've learned to love them more thanks to HOTS, though.
Yeah.
Here's the Storm was a great game, by the way, at Masters, but shout out to my boys.
But yeah, so our next topic that I really want to talk about is the pricing.
Oh no.
What is the most you guys would pay for a video game?
It depends on the game. Like, if it's like, for example, like if the reviews are not great, but like I've seen gameplay on it and like I wouldn't really care for it, but my friends want me to play it, I'd probably pay around no more than like $30 for it. And for games that I know I will enjoy, I'd probably pay like 40 to 60, like or the full 60. And for games I like already have and really love, like to play right now, I'd buy like the season pass for it. What depending on it, of course. Like if it's like Call of Duty's $50, no thank you.
Right, yeah.
But if it's like $20, like the Fire Emblem Warriors I just recently got, yeah.
What about you, Cal? What's the most you would pay for a modern game?
Okay,
I think he would sell a PS4 for a modern game.
If it was Zelda, well, I had such high hopes for that game. And you know the funny thing is, that was so rare for me to do. One thing I never do is pre-order. I do not do that. I do not fall into that advertisement. It used to be that pre-order was just like this thing where I'm kind of getting a little off topic. But you know, you do it just to get the game, like, you know, first or whatever, or just get it earlier than some people. But now in order to like get this certain thing, like I remember like in Elder Scrolls Online, if you wanted this extra class, in order like to play this extra race or class or whatever,
it was a race.
you had to pre-order or get collector's edition or something in order to play the game. This is what I can't stand, is when they cut content out of there. I don't mind paying $60 for a new game, especially if I hear great things about it, but it has to be finished. And this is another thing that a lot of that I don't like about modern gaming is they cut a lot of stuff out to save either for DLC. And the funny thing is they have a season pass already. Destiny? They have expansion.
Oh.
They have expansion pass.
Yeah.
Oh, I know a lot about Destiny.
Yeah, they have expansion pass, advertised in the box, in the little thing. They know it's going to be coming out later, so why didn't they just put it in the game? I'll tell you why. They wanted to save it so that way you could pay for it for DLC and to pay for the expansion pass.
For the Elder Scrolls Online thing, it was the game has gotten a lot better. This is way off topic, but the game has gotten a lot better. But you still have to pay for the Imperial race, and it also came with a horse. Which back when it first came out, it was almost impossible to get a horse. So it was
I'm not saying that it's that the games are bad, even though a good chunk of them can be, because of that reason. Look at Battlefront.
Yeah. So the thing that I did, which I regret, was I pre-ordered Battlefront 2.
Oh no.
I got it digitally because I just wanted to play it when it came out, and I should have waited because I paid $60 for the game and I haven't played it since it came out.
They actually changed it.
Did they really?
They actually changed the way it is. It's there's no more loot box cards or anything like that. What you get out of the loot boxes now is just cosmetic stuff and
That's what they should have done.
And the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But in the star cards, you actually level up by using them, I think. And you actually level up your class and you unlock the star cards that way. But I mean, for the people who already have the max by either getting lucky or just paying for it, they still all have that. So I mean, it's kind of fixed it, kind of didn't.
Right.
You just had to play the game in order to get that high.
And I guess the other thing that turned me off was the microtransactions. They were just really pushing for the microtransactions. And I mean, you pay the full $60 for the game. Why wouldn't you just have everything the game has to offer?
Especially when past games have done that.
Right.
I mean, I remembered hearing about that Super Nintendo's used to be $80 or something.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they were full games. If we have to go to that point, I mean, for one, you better put a lot of content in there. But also, if that has to be the case, I guess that'd be fine. I usually get my games used, though.
Right.
I can wait because I usually wait for reviews. The only exception was Breath of the Wild because I had such high hopes for that. But otherwise, for almost every game that comes out, I wait, I look at reviews, and I make sure that it is something that I actually want to play before I purchase it. And by the time I usually do that, because there's other games I'm playing at the moment, it's usually on sale. So I save money, and yes, I'm late to the party, but I saved money, and I still get to play this game that everybody won't shut up about.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to what Kelvin said about the whole DLC thing. I think in modern games, there is the whole DLC factor and they want you to pay for their extra content, but that's just marketing, I guess. It's they need to make their business. They need to make money somehow.
Right.
And
they are a triple A company.
The issue with Destiny that was really bad, and I think a lot of people don't really think about this or let it go, was I believe Destiny had their first 2 DLCs already planned out, and the content was, at least part of it was already in the game. I remember doing this myself because I have 400 hours into Destiny. You could sneak back into the backside of a map or an area, and there was literally a part of a map that was in the DLC that you could reach, and there was actually content there. Nothing like quests or anything, but there was a boss or whatever that you could kill, but I don't believe it gave you anything. But that they had their content, they just chose not to release it until a year or 2 later, which that kind of bothers me. And I stopped playing after so long because of that, and I didn't want to keep putting money into it. But that's also with World of Warcraft. WoW, every so often or every other year or so, they release a new expansion, which is going to be another $60 that you put into on top of your subscription.
It's
crazy.
It becomes a whole bunch of money. Sad thing is, I really want to play some more WoW.
Yeah.
But it's so freaking addicting. But the problem is, I ain't got the money for that, man.
Yeah.
I ain't got the money for that.
Modern gaming is
that's why I can
pricey.
Yeah.
That's why I can never get into WoW because of the how expensive it is, and also I don't know. I never really got into it. I played a free trial of it, and I thought it was fun, but once I heard how expensive it is to play it, I'm no.
I know some people that I've heard actually usually buy one game a year and just play that.
Yeah.
It better be a good game too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it better be a long one.
I feel like all these games like coming out too, like you get just like sequels to all these other games coming out in like the same month. So people are gonna want to spend more and more money.
FNAF.
It just adds up.
FNAF.
Yeah.
Call of
Good.
Duty.
And
Good God.
it's I don't really care for it, but I see it's very smart for the business because they can just rake in more and more money, and there's people out there willing to shovel money out for new DLC or expansion packs.
I mean, yeah, obviously that like people are out there that do that because, or else there wouldn't be any microtransactions or DLC.
yeah, exactly.
Give me money.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
It's all about the money, not art, money, and that's another thing too. They always go use the same stuff over
Yeah.
again because it's easier to do. They're still getting as much money, if not more. While indie games and stuff like that, either they do something different, or or just games in general, even the AAA stuff. They put something out there that's not only going to get the money, but it's also going to be a good game and one that'll last forever to remember by. So, yeah.
Anyone have anything else to add in?
Or you can just buy Call of Duty 4 and play this. I don't care. It's up to you.
Anything about modern day gaming that we haven't really talked about?
PC or console? I don't.
This is
It's
more
an easy
this is
one.
an opinion one, so I want to hear your guys' opinions. We'll start with Brian. Brian, what's your favorite?
Super biased PC all
Yeah.
the way. I did start on PC when I started
Fair
playing
enough.
WoW.
Mhm.
But that's not why. I actually only got to play WoW for a little bit because, please don't ban me, Blizzard. I shared an account with my brother, and so he played that. Like I said, my family always consumed all the video games in the house, and I couldn't play it as much as they did. So I when he wasn't playing, I was able to play the console, and so that's what I did. I played the PS2 games, and then we eventually got a Wii and an Xbox 360, and I played that for a really long time.
That's exactly how it went for me.
Yeah.
PS2, Wii, Xbox,
Yeah.
360. And I hear that every time that someone grew up with a PS2.
Oh.
Actually,
Yeah.
it was the exact same for me now that I
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, no,
My God!
I mean, I had a PS2 at once. I think I got a Wii and then a PS2, then Xbox 360,
Hey,
and then from there.
you did that backwards.
What?
You were supposed to get your Wii second.
I know. I got.
Come on.
I don't know why I got the PS2 after the Wii, but
Yeah.
I did. But.
So, where was I? I played console a lot, and then eventually we got to high school or middle school, and one of my friends really liked PC, and he would just go on about it every day, and I was interested, and I never had the opportunity to play on like a proper PC, and I eventually I had somewhat of a computer. It was really horrible, really, really bad. It's embarrassing to say the specs on it, but
The horror.
I'm not even going to. So I got to play. I think I would play WoW on that, just because it was something. And I eventually got a better PC, and I ended up having a job and working and building one that's now my computer, and it's awesome. I can play mostly anything that I want, and there's just so much PC has to offer. Console games, almost like there's nothing going for them. Like, it's nice to spend $400 on a new console and have a very reliable machine, but in the end, PC is gonna outdo it fourfolds. And like, even like comparing like their games, the gaming opportunity, it's Xbox almost has no more exclusives with the Windows 10 Xbox
Nope.
integration,
Yeah.
and PS4 has some games, but sooner or later someone's going to figure out how to
PS4
bring them
has a
to PC.
lot of exclusives. PS4 has a lot of exclusives.
Yeah.
So.
I would
And-
say Nintendo probably does too.
Well, Nintendo has the most, clearly.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
It's
goodness.
gonna be hard to get your hands on Nintendo, but I mean, even still, like, there's emulators. You can find Pokemon on your PC now.
Brian,
What?
you speak madness.
I will show you, Calvin.
Speaks the truth.
I use
emulator?
PC dominates. There's
Yeah.
no question. If you argue that console has an upper hand for anything, you might be crazy. I mean, there is one nice feature, is the like the streaming right from your console. That's pretty
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Because it's a lot harder on PC, I would say.
So is there anyone for console, like strictly for console?
Well, I'm not. Here's the thing. I used to be, and I'm still. I guess at the end of the day, I'm still more of a console pleb, as they like to call it.
Casuals.
Hey, I'll show you. But honestly, as of late, actually, let me introduce how I got into PC. I think it was Mr. Whitman, Jacob, who got me into PC gaming. Yeah, Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft. That's a whole topic.
That's way back.
Yep, and that was my first PC game.
Wow.
So if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't give
Thank you, Jacob.
a rat's booty about freaking PC gaming or Minecraft. But yeah, I remembered playing that, and I played it on this like junky laptop that is passed away recently.
The crap top.
The crap top got spilled by milk.
Oh no! Did you have a funeral?
Huh?
Did you have a funeral?
Nah, my dad just yelled at me for away. Afterwards, like I really Overwatch was getting really popular, and I remembered all you guys were getting really into PC gaming. I still had my laptop. I was still into console gaming, but then I decided, you know what? I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to save up some money, and I'm going to buy myself a PC. And so I got this build that I saw from a YouTube channel, and it was really good.
I remember all of this.
It was really good. And then we got a build and everything. I had Brian help out. I had Jacob help. I had everybody help out, basically, besides Mike, because I didn't know about
poor
that.
Mike.
And honestly, I liked it. There's a lot more things to do, apparently, and it's also there's if I gotta say one thing, FPS games are so much better on there. I love the mouse and keyboard. I don't think I can really go back unless it's like Halo or something and play an FPS game. It has to be on console, or not console, PC at this point, because I just love the way the mouse just.
You have so much freedom.
Just a lot of freedom. Okay. And then there was also exclusives that I wanted to try out. Like as a kid, I wanted to play World of Warcraft.
Bingo.
And so I finally got to try that out, and well, I didn't get addicted to it like everyone else did. I still liked it, and then I got into HOTS with everybody. And I think a big part about the PC, what I like about it, is that I had a sense of community. Like my friends were playing it and stuff like that, and we had a thing that we could just easily group up, play online. I don't have to pay a subscription. Microsoft, Sony used to never even do that.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, that was one good thing about the PS3.
Now Nintendo's doing that crap.
Granted, it's only for $20 a year.
I don't care.
What about you, Mike? PC or console?
So, I know I'm in the minority, but I think I prefer console a little more.
Boo! No.
There's a reason he's sitting over there.
So there's a reason for this, because I mean, granted, I probably had a really bad history with PCs, because like all the PCs I've grown up with are just garbage. Like they all ran really slow.
True.
They could barely run any games at all. Like
it can be expensive. To
yeah,
get
it's
that
really
PC.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
That's my biggest problem.
Computers.
That's my biggest problem with it.
even my gaming PC I have now, like I don't know, like I paid like $600, $800 for it, and it's garbage. Like it just doesn't. Like the processor and everything else is fine. It's just the graphics card that's in it. Like I just need to get a new graphics card.
And those are
off topic right there. Yeah, graphics cards are insane right now.
Did you say, Brian, that why did they go up?
The whole Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So yeah, that ruined it. You're gonna have to wait a while if you want a good one for cheap.
Well, can I tell one fun fact? Some people don't know about this, but you can use a controller with your PC.
Yeah.
Oh, I use it all the time for emulators and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people still don't know that, so there you go. What about you, Jake? Oh, sorry.
I only said I didn't say why I liked console, but like the reason why I like console a little more is because it's reliable. Like you can just put the game in and you can play it. Like on PC, like especially for like old games like DOS games, for example, like you have to like on Steam, for example, you have to download like DOSBox still. It's like what? And then like there's a bunch of like problems that for PCs and stuff that you can have, like sometimes like the microphone just won't work, or like sometimes your keyboard just doesn't want to work, or I don't know, it's just a bunch of problems that I don't like dealing with. But I don't know, I just like console a lot more because I have more friends on there.
Yeah.
Besides you guys, and and I don't know. My very first online experiences were on the Xbox, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess for me, I'm a PC kind of guy.
Boo.
But I've had
What do you mean?
experience with console. It's not bad at all. But if I had the choice to play between PC and console, I would choose PC. And I guess my favorite part about it is the variety of games. Like, because all the games for like Xbox and PS4, they're on the PC, so you could just play it from that.
Yeah, even if I do prefer console, I do admit there's a lot of games you can get on Steam and G2A.
Yeah.
Old and modern game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like actually,
What
one of my
a
favorite
steal.
games is only a PC exclusive. So
Mhm.
I mean,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah,
Console's reliable, I would say.
yeah.
It's a good safe pick.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why we've had it for such a long time. Then, not all of us have internet.
Yeah.
And so we like that single player experience.
It's all for the people who like don't want to spend too much money on like a machine. Like, honestly, I'm more of like, instead of like focusing on my console or like accessories for all that stuff, I'm more of like, I just want to buy the games and just play it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about those handhelds?
Handhelds.
Yeah, like 3DS and
They're relevant now.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
So is this topic.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What were you saying, Jacob?
We're moving on.
I don't even know what I was saying. But
How
yeah,
PC
any
in the games?
overall what?
You're talking about the PC and the games.
Oh well, yeah. I was just saying, like I said before, there's a variety of them, and you don't have to have. You don't make the choice between I want both an Xbox and a PS4 because they had their exclusives at one point.
There is a lot of PC games moving over to like consoles now. Like for example,
Yeah.
the MMO Terra recently got on the Xbox and PlayStation for free, which
Same
is
with
awesome.
PUBG.
Yeah.
PUBG moved over pretty quickly to Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. Is it coming out on PS4? Do you know?
I don't think so. I know it's on the phone.
PUBG Mobile.
Yeah.
Oh, golly.
Yeah. But any other general thoughts about modern day video gaming?
Well, one that I wanted to point up is that, like, I think it also depends with going back to the consoles again. It is those exclusives that really, like, are hit or miss, honestly. Like, I remembered I really wanted Bloodborne, so I got the PS4. But then I sold it because I wanted Zelda, because Zelda's my life. It's my favorite game series. So that's kind of why I still consider myself a console guy, because I love Nintendo. But, it also depends on accessibility and also the friends that you have. Like for Mike, he's got his friends on Xbox Live and stuff like that. And I still also have you on Steam though, Mike.
Yeah.
But I also have you guys on PC as well, so we can easily, play those games and stuff or whatever.
Right.
And it really just all depends on, it really depends on the player at the end of the day.
Yeah, like I have you guys on Steam. We just don't have the same games. That's the
Right,
problem.
yeah.
Get some games, Mike.
I know.
Give it the times.
Once I get a graphics card that's better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
I don't even know what my graphics card is. I think it's you guys will laugh if I think it's like a 700 800 GeForce.
Calvin, can you explain how old that is? Do you know? Yeah. All right, Calvin, I'm the only one entitled to laugh here. Okay. One thing though was kind of going back to how Calvin mentioned the handheld.
Oh, no.
Like I know I said it was irrelevant, but I just thought of this. Mobile gaming. That is something because we brought up PUBG Mobile. Is mobile gaming like your phone being considered a handheld now? Is that?
I would kind of, because I feel
I
like there's a
would.
lot of kids that just play video games on their phone.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
Yeah.
I play Sudoku. Don't
Just
call me
because-
a not gamer.
Just because, I don't know. Yeah.
Because like Fortnite and PUBG came to mobile.
I'll wreck you in
so
Candy Crush.
that is their game. That's another source for them to play their beloved favorite game of all time.
I mean, for Nintendo, like the new 3DS is still relevant, and also the Switch is a hybrid console. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Which is why I really want one, because I could
it's
play
nice.
Zelda
I was gonna
on the
say-
toilet.
The
Switch is
luxuries.
kinda like
Man
a
has gone
handheld
too
at
far, I think, this
points,
time.
but-
oh yeah, they're not irrelevant. They're still around, but
Right.
Yeah.
they don't dominate the market.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
never cared. I mean, I like the 3DS because, again, Zelda fan. Gotta get those HD Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and also get my Link Between Worlds.
I-
But I don't play enough of that as I do consoles or PC. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be
Is
it.
there a wrap?
Thank you guys for coming to talk about, your experience and opinions.
scrap the JSW12.
Oh no, there goes an edit.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.